Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Golden Age, as some are calling it, besides President Trump himself. We have finally gotten past Inauguration Day, and President Trump will start pardoning. I believe tomorrow he's going to be pardoning
Gen
most
6.
of, if not all, the January 6th, as he called them, hostages. I still call them political prisoners. Okay?
Same thing.
Yeah, true. Anyway, and other good things. I mean, he said he's going to go take out that, what do they call it, the mandate for all electric cars by 2030 in California and some other states, and he's going to kill those mandates. He's going to open up areas that Biden tried to close for oil and gas exploration forever, and I think he's going to. I hope he does something about the subsidies to wind and solar because those things are inefficient, cannot work without subsidies, cannot make any profits, and it's been years since they've been doing it. Remember what was that company back in 2000? I think that energy company that went under and killed took $500 million with it, or $1 billion. And there was another one under Obama also.
I'm
Two
quite sure.
energy companies. Yeah, they keep giving him $500 billion, and they keep losing everything. And of course, the taxpayer pays. Speaking of taxes, by the way, I have a question raised by a meme I saw. Why is it that we are being taxed if the government prints all the money it wants? If they can print money whenever they need it, they don't need our tax money. Why do they do it? This guy answered his own question: to keep us poor.
Here's the thing. If you're a businessman, you try to make money. Okay? So the thing is, the government requires money. Somebody's got to pay for it. So I don't know how that goes about. I'm not a businessman per se. So the thing is that I'm not opposed to taxes. I'm opposed to taxes being wasted. I'm opposed to taxes not being utilized in a manner that behooves my fellow citizens. Somebody's got to pay for the school. Somebody's got to pay for this. Somebody's got to pay for that. There has to be some sort of fund that covers the general coffers, the general needs. So I'm not a,
No, up until 1913,
yes.
that was all taken care of through tariffs. Everybody who worked in America, whatever you made, you kept.
Well,
Period.
I
You
thought
did not have to give any of your earnings to the government, and the government still built roads, built schools, built bridges, and so on and so forth.
originally you were only supposed to be taxed based upon the profit that you made, and basically
Of a business.
income for one's labor was not considered a profit. It was just uh, a transaction. But the thing is that they've gotten rather clever, and I don't want to discuss taxes because the thing is that uh, there was a time when I actually used to get something back. I get almost nothing now. I'd be happy if I am in a situation where I don't have to pay anything. That's
Well,
how
you
it's.
also missed the point that I started this little conversation with, which is we don't need to pay taxes because when the government needs money, it just prints more. Okay? It just prints whatever the hell it wants.
Yeah,
So
I
why are we paying them if they
that.
can take the 4 trillion that we give them, they can print it up no problem.
I am not in agreement with that at all. That to me is ludicrous.
Oh, I don't want them printing money at will either. I want us back on the gold standard.
Yes, that would be nice.
That would be the ideal. That would be the commonsensical thing. That would
Well,
make the dollar stronger than ever. Okay?
right. Basically, it's a promissory note. It's a promise of worth. So the thing is that you know the problem with money is that it's only as good as those people who are willing to exchange it. If nobody's willing to exchange your money, then it's worthless. You go to a foreign country with coins like I had a Canadian quarter, and I had a problem because I didn't notice it. I handed it to the cashier. She wanted to have fit because that's not American money. So the thing is that money in and of itself is an agreement. It's a promise that I will exchange you for this, and if you want something that you consider of equal value, you can exchange it for that. You know,
Well,
so
Canadian quarters aren't even accepted here, and a lot of times I've got like maybe $5 in Canadian coins in there over the past year or so that I've gotten when I get quarters to do my laundry.
right.
The machines won't take them, so I'm stuck with them here. I keep
I've
meaning when I collect a whole roll of them, I'm going to go back to the bank and give it to them.
I've told people to go ahead and invest in ammunition and in firearms, especially good quality stuff. Why?
Well,
Because I have actually acquired, let's say I had a Smith and Wesson Model 29 44 Magnum Lou Horton Special, and I think I paid about $400 for it. It's worth more than 10 times that amount. I sold it to somebody that really wanted it, and I got a small portion because I was happy to basically double my money. And that was it. So the point is, if you're patient, you know, uh, then a good firearm will be worth more in the future. Um, but
true, but that same firearm, I mean, if it weren't for inflation, it wouldn't have increased in value 10 times over.
right, well,
Okay.
the thing is, you're trying to. You here's the thing: if you bought something for $300 and
Okay.
then you could sell it 10 years later for, let's say, $1,500, chances are that's kind of on par. So it's just like putting money in the bank. It's a lot of times you want to put money in the bank not necessarily to make a profit, but to simply keep it safe. So it's like, I don't know, man. I'm not an economist. All I know is that value is relative. A glass of water is worth uh, a, a untold amount of money to a guy who's lost in the desert. So value is relative, and
Yeah.
if you think something's worth something, that's fine. If you're not happy with the tax laws in this country, guess what? You got somebody in office right now that is also not a big fan. So he wants to bring tariffs in. He wants to do all that stuff. And the thing is that
Or maybe he does. Maybe he's just using the tariffs as a negotiating tool.
regardless, he's increasing the overall wealth and strength of this country. He's the negotiator, not me. I voted for Trump, and now I'm going to trust him. And I have
Right.
yet to see any reason not to.
Okay. Anyway, getting back to why we went down this particular rabbit hole, you said something about investing in ammunition.
I
Well,
was, yeah.
did you hear about the illegal alien? Oh, I'm sorry. He was an asylum seeker. Got caught in Arizona today or yesterday in the possession of 30,000 bullets.
Were they Aguela?
30,000, not 3,000, not
Right.
300, 30,000. You
I
know
wish
that all those bullets are going to to criminals.
I don't know that. I mean, I'm not saying it's not going to happen or wouldn't have happened. I'm just saying there's a lot of good reasons to have 30,000 rounds. So there's plenty of gun owners that have 30,000 or more
Yeah,
rounds of.
but this guy is an asylum seeker, an illegal alien. He's not supposed to have any ammunition or any firearms.
Well, maybe he would in
Period.
the future. He listened to this podcast and realized that ammunition was worth more than money, and then came back to the past, bought ammunition, thinking he could make trades.
No, you know what? He should just go back to his country and sell the bullets to criminals over there. He was
Here's the,
bringing that up to make money. Don't give me any shit. Come on.
I
You
don't
know
know.
it, I know it, and he knows it.
I don't know what he was doing. All I have to know is he was wrongfully in this country. the ammunition should be confiscated, and
And
he should
distributed to
be
law-abiding citizens.
back unless, of course, they want to punish him. So, the thing is that he got nailed. Okay, now I
They
don't
could.
even know what the ammunition was. You know,
Yeah, I don't
so
know what it is
that,
either.
that's too, because I mean, you could
Oh, you
buy.
know what? Maybe it was on its way to New Jersey because New Jersey, you buy a box of ammo, you got to pay $1.50 now because they have to inform the state police that you're buying it, and that $1.50 supposedly covers the cost of telling them electronically that
Yes.
this thing was purchased.
Oh yeah, you got to pay for that electricity.
Or maybe
Uh,
they were bringing it up like they used to bring cigarettes up from the South, non-taxable.
well, the idea that I could go to a store and ask for a pack of cigarettes, and if I don't have ID, supposedly they won't sell it to me, is ludicrous.
Yeah, but you can vote without an ID, and they can't even ask you, and they don't even want to see your ID
Those
if
days,
you offer.
those days are over, brother. They're
Yeah, I
already
know.
there's a
Thank
number.
God.
They've already insisted on photo ID, and that's before they did that before Trump took office. So the thing is, listen, we have not just the individuals in question that we admire greatly within Trump's circle, but we also have the circles within circles. We have the support group that supports all of those juggernauts, and they are going to be working um, on our behalf. And they're not interested just in improving America. They're interested in being an example for the rest of the world. And things are going to change, man.
Well, things are already changing even around the world. I mean, people are going towards Trump. People who have Trump-like policies. I mean, Malay was the first one last year, and already, inflation has gone down incredibly over there. Plus, they now have a surplus for the first time in I don't know how many years, and he's only been there a year. Okay,
He actually promoted civilian gun ownership so this way they could protect themselves. And
that's
guess
another thing.
what?
Yeah,
I hate to inform people out there, but that led to a drop in crime. I don't understand why. I'm not smart enough to figure
yeah.
that.
The guns are supposed to be evil, aren't they?
Well, they are. That's why I don't understand it, because it must have been one evil gun and another evil gun destroyed each other. Then there's no guns.
Yeah, yeah. Just don't buy guns, and that'll solve crime because the people who commit crimes won't need guns either. Yeah,
No
right.
guns. Buy guns, put them on the side, and then sell them 10 years later.
Ah, hold on. You know what? I'm going to have to clip this clip with the other thing. I'll call you back in a moment. Sorry. What the hell? I'm trying to stop this. All right. I'm hoping I'll be able to splice this together so there won't be two episodes, but we'll see.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
I haven't done that. I haven't done that yet, so I don't know how it's going to work out. Plus, they finished. I mean, not finished. They changed some of the things on the. Before I come into the studio, they changed a few things in the beginning. So I hate that. Whenever I know what I'm doing on something, they go and change it. Change it up. My father used to have that same complaint. God bless him. You know, every time he got used to something on the computer, they'd screw him up because they do these updates and change everything. Oh, it drove him crazy, man. Yeah. And I know how he feels. So okay, we're in the golden age, and what? There was something else I wanted to talk about. We covered that guy with the bullets. Oh, you know how they're gonna keep trying. They tried again about some reporter was interviewing Tom Homan, the guy who's in charge of the border, and he said, "Oh, is there going to be any collateral damage?" He said, "Yes, there will." He was referring to separation of families, which, as Homan has explained in the past, you arrest a guy and you put him in jail, you're separating from his family too. In this case, they won't be separated for long because if you send them out of the country, you're going to send his whole family back too. And I hope they do away with that ridiculous birthright thing because that was intended for slaves, for former slaves rather, so that they could be Americans and they could vote.
Hmm.
And of course, the Democrats were the ones who always fought against that shit, but they don't want people to mention that. Yeah. All right. Since you're still eating, let's see. Oh, we already talked about government printing all the money it needs, but it keeps taxing us anyway because it wants to, and we keep paying.
Okay.
What'd you eat anyway? May I ask?
Um, there's some sort of crazy health cereal that's made out of chickpeas and stuff. I bought it to
Oh,
see if it'll work.
chickpeas. Oh, how'd you like it?
It was it was not as it was not as disappointing as I expected.
Man, I don't even like regular chickpeas with the food that you eat them with. I used to eat them when I was young. I used to have them. My mother. The Portuguese cook when they cook fish, they use chickpeas with it. But I just got sick and tired of them. I don't like. I can't eat them without the olive oil and vinegar too because it's just too blah for me.
Isn't falafel made out of chickpeas?
It might be. I'm not sure. I know hummus is.
There you
Yeah.
go. That's what I'm thinking
It's
about.
like that one bread I like in Madeira Island. It's called bol do coco. It's a flat bread, but it's bread that's made out of sweet potato. That is delicious bread. No wheat, just sweet potato.
One
Anyway, I don't know how they make it.
figure out how to make bread out of what is that? Oh my God, teff, which is an Ethiopian seed that they, as I understand, they may have actually made bread without actually like punching it up and turning it into powder because it's so small. They could probably just use it the way it is.
It's sticky. It holds itself
I
consistency
have
or
no.
what?
I mean, I've eaten it and for quite some time. I stopped
Yeah.
because I started taking collagen, and the collagen is affecting my appetite. It's actually, um, I'm eating much less. I was surprised. I took out the garbage today, and my garbage can was half as full as it normally is. And
Okay.
I, I'm not eating as much as I used to, and I'm
That's good
still
though.
doing everything. Yeah.
As you get older, you don't need as much food as you did before when you were younger.
Well,
Our metabolism is slower for one thing. Although you and I, since we're going to the gym and doing other activities, I know you're not bike riding in the cold months, but
how do
the
you know
American you're up and about all the time. You're not sitting at home,
that?
so
that
our
the
metabolism is a
presumptions
little
you make
faster.
about the guy with the ammunition. You're making presumptions about me. I could have been bicycling today if I wanted to.
I doubt it because I don't think you would be bicycling on snow and ice. You fell on in the summer or spring on a dry surface. You're going to risk this? Nah, even you're not that stupid.
No, it wasn't dry. Actually, that the first one was I hit a patch of mud. Last time I checked, mud ain't dry. And then
No,
the second one was I was going around these people and the grass was wet. So nanny
grass.
nanny. Yeah, that's when I fell on the
Oh yeah,
tree.
okay. So you fell two times when you went on wet surfaces, and I'm supposed to believe that you might have gone out today with the snow and ice on the ground.
Because I've
Yeah.
measured it. I've done it twice. I've. Oh, by the way, I was talking to somebody today that I game with, and
Okay.
he has listened to a number of our podcasts. And so I said, "What'd you think?" He says he didn't like our politics. I said,
Oh,
"Yeah, but what'd you think?" He said, "You guys are basically like comedians."
like
He was
what?
he's comedians. He says, "You guys bust each other's chops so much, it's funny."
Yeah. Well, I told you. I think we're doing better than we thought we were doing. I wish some people would put comments at the end of our podcast to let us know what you think, but you're too damn lazy to do that. You fit right in with this crowd.
Well, the reason why we're doing better than we think that we're doing is because we're idiots.
Well, speak for yourself.
I'm
Okay.
speaking for both of us, brother. Anyway, let's see. Let's get back to the inauguration, which is it's inauguration day. I was afraid the entire day because I thought somebody was going to do something.
Yes, I was worried about that too.
What I did notice that many of the times when Trump spoke and the crowd stood up and applauded, all of the presidents, the old presidents and their wives and stuff, they sat on their asses. They sat on their stanky asses, and they just like sat there like it's almost as
Like birds that they are.
Do you remember the time when um, I believe it was Trump was speaking in Congress and giving the State of the Union, and
Yeah,
Pelosi was behind and she ripped
ripped
the
it up
paper.
at the end.
What a bitch!
Oh, she's a cunt. Oh, she is. She gives cunts a bad name.
She does.
Yeah, she was there today too. I didn't see her for a while, but when they finally stood up because to applaud because of the Israeli hostages, the 3 Israeli hostages that came back, then Biden got up, Kamala got up, and then I see next to Kamala, there's Hillary. She's only this big next to Kamala.
Yeah.
Yeah, a
Well,
fucking evil midget. She's an evil midget, man. No, a malicious. What is it? Malignant dwarf. That's. I don't remember what film that was from. He's a malignant dwarf,
okay.
or she is.
All right. So the thing is that uh, then later on, instead of having the parade outside, you had the parade inside, so this way more people could see him. Um,
Huh.
I just it's hard to believe the day has finally come, and he's I think going inside was a security choice. I think
I think so too. More so than the cold weather thing. And the left, of course, tried to say, "Oh, he's afraid of going outside in 23-degree weather." Yeah, well, if you've been taking shot, if your side hadn't been taking shots at him, trying to kill him, and maybe and hurting other people, bystanders, then maybe they would have had it outside anyway, even in the cold.
well
I
the
mean,
re-
he did go to lay flowers at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier yesterday. He and Vance.
we did that first
Yep. Was that this morning or yesterday?
this morning.
Oh, it was this morning. Yeah, and it was cold, but he was out there. Okay.
It's
So
also
yeah,
an
I believe it. And he had said in one thing, he didn't say, "I don't want anybody to get sick." Right? What he said was, "I don't want anyone to get hurt." That's a little clue that maybe they had information, they had intelligence about certain things. Oh, one of the things he was doing today on day one, those 51 liars, liars, those 51 intelligence operatives who were either willfully went along with it or were coerced into signing that letter claiming that the Hunter Biden laptop was Russian misinformation. He was taking away their security clearance. I hope he did it as fast as he did the border, where they were on the border saying, "You step forward, you're going to be arrested." He said in English and Spanish, told them, no more bullshit. And they killed the app that Biden was using to get people to come in and send them wherever the heck they wanted to go in the United States.
Well, you know, he's been president for less than 24 hours. They're already talking shit about him.
Oh,
But the
they've been
thing
talking shit about him before he took office.
I'm just saying. So the thing is, like, you know, there's a number of people out there that I don't know if anything will satisfy them. They're so.
No, of course not.
Like, I was talking to somebody who was close to me, and they are stone cold convinced that the reason why the hostages were released was because Biden did it.
Oh, how stupid! How stupid! Oh, also another thing. Did you notice that, you know, Trump went to the White House this morning,
Stop, stop, stop,
and
stop, stop. This is not a stupid person. This is a person who's in a state of denial. You know,
it's a stupid assumption.
it's not. It's. Here's the thing. Yes, but it's. These people are deranged. They have Trump derangement syndrome, and it
Yes,
is a real thing. And they've been fed a line of bullshit, and it's going to take um, a lot of trans.
deprogramming.
I did get them to promise me one thing, that they would look at their grocery, how much groceries cost today, and maybe in the future look at it and
Yeah,
see if the prices go down.
right. Well,
So that's something that's measurable.
yeah, but I mean, they swallow this book because somebody said the other day you tend to whatever news comes your way, you tend to look for whatever it is that backs up your opinion, your your pre-held opinion. So if you think he's evil, you're going to look for something that may intimate that he's evil.
God damn.
Okay, and stop this.
Yeah. Well, I can't do it. You have to do it. But the thing is that, yeah, we are all polarized to some degree. We're all looking to validate ourselves to some
Yes,
degree.
true, true.
Some people are a little bit more objective than others, but most of us are there. I've reached a point where I've already made some hardcore decisions, and I'm not going to easily change them. Um, like I was brought up to me that one of the reasons why this person hated Trump was because when they were building Trump Tower, okay, they're knocking down the building, and there were these Art Deco pieces, which she called statues, okay, that
There
he
was
promised to protect them, and later on, when he sent in, and her story was that he just lied about it and just didn't protect the artwork. Now, when I uh, heard her story, I went online and I found a story that said that he had three separate um, uh, people that price these things. I forget the proper.
crazy, crazy.
Yes, he had three separate art appraisers, and they all
Yeah.
basically came up with the fact that the artwork was $10,000, worth $10,000. It was not exceptional, and because it wasn't statues, it was actually a relief that was in the
Okay.
wall.
Yeah.
So in order to remove that, it would be very difficult. God damn it, man! Get this fucking phone and throw it in the garbage. Anyway, the thing is that um, so go ahead and so not only would it have been extremely expensive, like $500,000,
Oh, for a
but
$10,000 thing, yeah.
right, but also the fact that it would have it would slow down the building
The
of the
project.
right, because they couldn't knock the place down. So he
Yeah.
just said, no, I'm not going to do that. So it's like, so when you see that story, it's not the same thing. It's not like I didn't choose to pick up the statue and carry it outside. It
Right.
was like the shit is in the walls or something. So, so what happens is they hear these stories and they get these interpretations, and that's what they remember. And,
And you
they're,
can't dislodge the idea from their heads with a chisel.
so I was wearing my MAGA hat. This guy he says, Trump hates transgenders. He's the one who removed them from the military. So
Oh
I
my
said, I've never heard such a thing. So I
bullshit.
looked it up. Come to find out what Trump did when the subject of transgender service people came up, he left it up to the heads of each of the branches. It's,
Uh-huh. How
it's
to deal with them, yeah.
you're
But Biden went in and paid for their transition operations with our tax dollars.
Well, he also said in his speech, in this country, there are only two genders. He
Oh,
said,
he said that outright. Yes,
said that outright in the speech.
officially two genders. You're either male or female. Oh, did you see that one dude?
Or
He
you're
is a dude who was in his car bragging. He did a little TikTok video or whatever, and he said he got away with changing his sex without having on his driver's license without having to go through motor vehicles. He did something underhanded and he changed his sex on his driver's license, basically forging his driver's license.
right.
So because he confessed that on the internet, he's in trouble now. He was
Yeah,
arrested for it.
what you do when you admit to a crime.
Yeah, yeah. It's like those idiots who who film a crime that they're committing in progress, and
Mm.
then post it. Oh, look what we did. Oh yeah, well, we're here to take you down to the station.
Well, they're not the only ones doing it. That's the thing. They see other people do it. Just somebody finally goes ahead, makes it a big deal, and says, "We're going to nail this guy." The problem
Yeah,
is, the problem isn't. There was
there's so much shit out there. You're gonna miss a lot of it.
I forget where I heard this, but there was this one guy who was talking about, well, what are you going to do with these people doing these things in the street? They said, well, the problem isn't. Oh, that's right. That was in
But
Untouchables. Um, so they said, well, what are you going to do? He says, I'm going to go ahead and stop these bootleggers. He goes,
yeah,
uh, he says, where can you? So the first thing we have to do is find him. And the guy goes, we know where they are. That's how they do business. He says, it's just nobody's ever done anything about it. So that's the state of it now. What's happened is these people have gotten a free pass.
yeah,
Okay. And the thing is that now the initial wave is going to catch a lot of people off guard. There's going to be some people that are thoroughly obtuse that are going to get kicked right square in the ass, and they're going to end up paying for everybody else's sins.
like those two women last week. I think it was last week or the week before, where I saw they were shoplifting, but a new law passed saying that no, you're not going to get away with under $1,000. It's a misdemeanor. It's going to be a felony. Anything over whatever. So these girls walked out with out of some high end store. I don't remember if it was. I don't remember. It was a really big brand. They walked out with a lot of shit, and they got arrested. And then the ones explained it to the other one that no, now we got a felony. Now it's a felony. It's not. It's no. Ain't no misdemeanor no more. And the other one's crying. Fuck you. Good.
Well, the thing is that it used to be anything $2,000 or above was grand larceny.
Okay. Yeah.
So, I don't know
Well,
what
that's
it is.
but it's still a felony to shoplift over, I think, $200, $100, whatever it is. It's still a felony. It's stealing, basically. Shoplifting is not a victimless crime, and shoplifting is not something that should be taken lightly.
Well, thou shalt not steal.
There you go.
But I'm feeling a little strange because I feel like our side won, but I'm like very pensive about the idea of jumping up and down and being happy about it.
Well, we had enough time to do that right after the election. So right now, it's just we finally got a real president in office who is going to put America first, as he said. Okay, he's going to put America and Americans first rather than last, which is what the Biden administration did, was always put Americans last. I mean, we still haven't. Look what they did down in North Carolina and Tennessee and so forth. They still have people sleeping in tents in the winter in cold
Okay.
because FEMA is totally incompetent, totally corrupt, and doesn't do shit. Okay?
I disagree with your last statement that Biden did not put Americans last. In order to put Americans last, you would have to actually notice that they exist. As far as Biden was concerned, there were Americans were nothing. You know,
Yeah,
see, like if I'm playing like high school baseball, I might put Tommy last because he's not such a great swinger. Okay, but at least I know Tommy's there. Biden
yeah.
didn't even know Tommy was there.
Yeah. But he did know that Ukraine was there. So a couple of days ago, he sent another. How much was it? Another 50 billion. Was it?
He was
Oh,
he was
or
Biden
50
was
million,
nothing
whatever.
but a puppet. That's all he
What's
was.
that?
He didn't
What's
even know
that?
what he was signing. He was getting pieces of papers and he
Oh
was.
yeah, yeah. But whoever is behind him is trying to make things difficult for Trump when he comes in.
Well, yeah,
Okay.
they're trying to do it, but the thing is that um, it's not public knowledge, and they just created more and more enemies because they're letting loose criminals, and the people who
Oh
have been
yeah,
harmed are yelling about it, like the people up in Scranton who they let loose the guy that was abused all those children,
the
not
judge.
two.
No, the judge, right?
Yeah, I think it was either
He was
yeah, I
getting
think
he was getting kickbacks from the prisons, the juvenile prisons. So he was giving them heavy sentences for bullshit crimes.
and in Scranton they don't want his name on any of the boulevards because they said it was basically a traitor. And
Yeah.
the people of Scranton hate him.
Oh, there's also another town up there somewhere where I think in Ohio, where the woman stole I don't know how many millions from the township. He pardoned her. He pardoned several terrorists. You told me he emptied Gitmo. You said the other day. I haven't heard that, but I heard he's let some people go from Gitmo. Is that true?
Well,
More
he
terrorists to go back and plan our demise.
150, if last I remember that number, but it's
150.
it might be.
Holy! I gotta
No,
look that up because I haven't seen
yeah,
that. I
it
gotta
may
find out about that.
it may not be right. I don't know where I'm getting that number, but that's the first. It's at least 15, I think. Um,
Well, 15, 150, kind of a big difference.
well, here's the thing. Well, yeah, it depends on who they are.
But still, even 15 is too many.
One is too many.
One is too many, exactly, because they're going to go back and plan revenge. You
It's the
know?
same thing happening to Israel. Israel's handing over 1,000 of these murderous bastards.
Yeah,
Okay, for what? 60 people.
60. We've only got three, last I
I
heard,
understand
so
that, but
far.
that's
Three women,
supposed to get.
and I hear that there are only 43 women still
Yes,
alive. Okay, that means that at least one American who was a guy is dead. If that's
right.
true.
I heard that only women are and children are because they've been holding children hostage as well.
Yeah, I know. I know. They're fucking scumbag. Well, these are the children that they probably raped them because they're pedophiles. All right. And look what they did when they attacked. They burned kids in their cribs and everything.
Oh yeah, and they
And,
and they
oh,
decapitated them with shovels.
yeah, scumbags. Oh my God. Yeah,
No, they are subhumans. They're demons.
they don't deserve. They don't even deserve a trial.
They
They
don't deserve.
deserve to be. They deserve to be exterminated.
Yes,
Exterminated. Okay.
with prejudice.
Yeah. It would not be. It would not be a Holocaust. It would be
Wait
a
a second.
cleansing.
Can we at least have a moment to honor the man who came up with the cell phone exploding pocket thing?
Oh yeah,
That was brilliant, man.
there was, and then the pagers, not cell phones, pagers.
Works for
But
me.
still, was it cell phones and then pagers, something like that?
Doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
I think
It was a
it
lot of
doesn't
them.
matter. They had them, and they had them in their pockets, so they ain't gonna be having, they ain't gonna be raping too many kids after
No.
that.
Well, they're pretty ingenious. They'll probably come up with something.
Yeah,
But
scumbag.
I'm watching a series that is kind of in line with this. It's called Homeland.
Homeland.
Yeah, it's
That's
about.
that's an older series already, isn't it?
Yeah, I
That was
think
a
it's 2013.
Yeah, it was a few years ago. I remember that. I never watched it. Is it good?
Right now I'm on the fence with it. It's good enough to make me go to episode 4, but it's not good enough to make me think I'm going to finish the series.
Oh, okay. Not like what was the one out in space?
Oh, The
The
Expanse.
Expanse. The Expanse.
Yeah, that was well, I'm also a little bit more vulnerable to science fiction shows. I like them a little bit more.
Right.
But
Okay.
mostly nowadays they don't make science fiction, they make science fantasy.
Yeah, and they call them documentaries.
Hmm. I was having
Uh,
this interesting conversation with my son about the movie Alien. And
okay, the original.
yeah, the original. And he thinks Alien is a horror movie and Aliens, the one that came afterwards, where the Marines come in, all right?
Yeah.
That isn't. He doesn't consider that a horror movie. But he
He
thinks
doesn't
it's
consider the first Alien horror movie. That was a horror movie.
that is a horror movie. He's right, I
That was
think.
definitely a horror movie, man. I mean, geez, that's like having having Jason or Michael Myers on board, and he's got these superpowers that even beyond what they have in the film
First
where
of all,
they started.
the thing just looks creepy.
Oh
And
my God, disgusting looking.
right, that actually the guy who came up with that particular image of the alien it was an artist, and he used to have that. That was his nightmare. He copied his nightmare.
Oh shit.
But
Yeah, that was a horrific looking creature. It,
yep,
it you know what it is? It seemed to have the, I guess, outer texture of a cockroach. That shiny
yeah,
shell
kind of whitish.
thing.
What was going on there? Yeah,
Yeah, reptilian, but also reptilian and bug-like. Ugh.
yeah. It was
Oh, speaking of, I saw Valentina
too.
sent me a link to a thing where they're showing this Chinese chef making a bunch of plates with all worms, and the worms are still alive. When he's preparing them, he's got them there. You're supposed to eat them, I guess. I guess live. Ugh.
Well, the thing is, I was taught in survival school that
They
you have
are.
you have to cook insects if you're going to eat them, because modern people simply can't stomach that kind of food raw.
Well,
Which
apparently the Chinese can.
I've
Chinese
had.
and other Asian countries.
I had some cooked crickets, and outside
I've
of the
been
fact,
meaning to try them.
there was nothing. It's not like there was anything on them. They were just cooked crickets, and I had one, and outside of the fact that it was crunchy, there was nothing going for it. It had nothing, no flavor, no nothing.
Yeah, a few years ago when I went, last time I went with Colin on a Boy Scout camping thing, they had this little shed there, and they were selling boxes of crickets, 25 per box. I meant to buy a couple, but I didn't. They had, I think, 4 different flavors. I remember they had one that was jalapeno. Okay. And the other three or 4, I can't remember the flavor. One was, I think, original, and the jalapeno I was interested in, and there was one other one that I thought I might try, but I never got to go to go and just pick it up.
When I was down in Mississippi, I was stationed down there. Somebody had talked me into eating frogs' legs.
Frog's legs. I've
Yeah.
had frog's legs. They're pretty good.
No, no, no. There's
Yeah,
nothing. There is nothing. There is nothing
they're not bad. They're not
special.
bad.
Here's the thing: if you've got frogs' legs and anything else, eat anything else, because frog legs is not offering you anything. It's like chicken has a flavor.
Well,
Turkey.
it's kind of like bland chicken. No, it's kind of chicken to sheet. Everything tastes
Look,
like chicken.
look.
Everything. Yeah.
Okay, if I'm in trouble and if I need to eat, okay, I will eat frog's legs, and thank God for it. But the fact of the matter is that There was nothing in the flavor, nothing in the texture, nothing special about it. It was just mushy meat.
What about worms or grubs? Did you ever eat any, cooked or
No,
uncooked?
no, not intentionally.
Yeah. Well, I think most of us in our lifetime, at one time or another, have swallowed a fly. Oh, you ever get a fly go into your mouth? Oh,
Yeah, well, yeah, I don't remember swallowing one though.
I don't remember if I don't think I swallowed it, but I mean, he got in there and and I was like grossed out for a
When I
long.
when I used to have a motorcycle, I was driving, and one day I got hit by some sort of flying insect in the face, and man, that caught me off guard. That was not fun.
You didn't have a helmet on, a visor?
Yeah, no, I didn't. I had goggles.
Oh, okay, the old time motorcycle driver. Did you have
Well,
the scarf wrapped around your head, trailing behind you?
no, that's for faggots like you. No, the thing is that I look at some
Oh,
of the
this. I hear the word faggot may be coming back. Not the one. Not the
cigarettes.
word to denigrate gay people, but just like, no, stop being a faggot. You know,
Yeah.
stop
You know.
being an asshole, basically.
Well, I forget. Bill Burr was talking about that.
Who
He was
was?
talking about that. Yeah, he says, yeah, we used to use the word fag all the time. It didn't mean it just meant that you were kind of wimpy, you know?
Yeah. Or you were just doing something stupid. Oh, stop being a fag. No. And besides, with fag, the original word fag referred to a cigarette in England.
Right. And you were a
Right,
fag.
fag, give me a fag.
You like getting sucked on. But,
I guess that's why the gays appropriated the word. I don't know. Well,
I,
no, they didn't appropriate it. It was other people who put it on them, actually, as a pejorative. I've
yeah.
used the word pejorative the last few weeks more than I have in my entire life.
Well, here's the thing. We use the term pussy for a woman's vagina, right? Now,
Or for a guy who's like a pushover or a
I'm trying
weed chew.
to this. So the thing is, we use that, right?
Yeah.
So the thing is that they used to use that a long time ago because nobody knew what it meant. It wasn't a common slang. He's like, oh, some bush. See, you know what I mean? And you could say it around people and they wouldn't know what the fuck you're talking about because it was like code. But then everybody learned it and then it became a popular piece of slang. I
You
think
talking about pussy?
I'm talking about slang.
No, but what word are you talking about specifically right
Bush
now?
or
Bush?
or pussy.
Okay.
So the thing initially it was like a secret. Okay. That's like when I was a kid, there was uh people used to call marijuana cigarettes joints,
Yeah.
you know, and everybody had their own little funny way of saying it, so this way you could say it in public without getting caught. So I don't know, fag may have been that same thing that, it was just like trying to say, that guy over there, he's a fag. And nobody knows what they think they're talking about cigarettes. But I don't really, you know, I like using the word queer because nobody can argue that one. It's like, I'm
Queer,
sorry.
meaning odd, out of the ordinary. Odd.
No, that's not it. No, it's just like, I'm sorry, it's in your alphabet. Right at the end is Q, LGBTQ, So if you can
Yeah, queer. They have like queer theory that stupid
strange,
philosophy book written by that asshole.
strange or odd, you know, uh, sometimes of a queer might be of a highly unfamiliar nature.
Yeah, it's queer. It's not normal.
Right.
That's all it means.
Yeah.
So, and that's I guess that was pretty on the money, descriptively speaking,
It's
without
relative.
being an insult, really. Oh,
Here,
he's queer. He's a
if you have
queer. He's
if you
queer
have
as a $3 bill.
if you have a busload of queers in a boat, right? a busload of queers if you have a busload of queers, right?
Yeah.
Inside the bus, they're not queer because they're not queer to each
No,
other.
because they are all the same.
So
They're
queer is
all
relative.
homogeneous. They're all homos again. There we go again.
Homogeneous, yeah.
It's a
Well,
homogeneous group. Yeah. How did they come up with the? Oh no, homosexual. That's right, homos. But you have Homo erectus. You have Homo.
homosexual is simply, man on man.
Yeah.
You know,
Well, no, no, no. Homosexual, same sex, same sex. Could be woman on women. Women are lesbians are homosexuals. Gays are homosexuals. I don't understand how they got the word gay and appropriated that. That
because
was in the 70s, right? Or 80s, 80s.
that's just a substitute word to make up for their lack of pride.
No, they have plenty of pride. They display it every year. Yeah,
That
how come they get a fucking month? How come they get a whole month to celebrate getting fucked up the ass when
what? Why don't white people have a white parade? Why don't white people have the white channel instead of like BET, WET?
Yeah, right?
Why
Yeah, BET. Yeah,
because these folks who congregate to these things feel as though they're in the minority, and they are, and they try to make up for it by having their own little moment. But the fact of the matter is
okay.
that you know there's a
If you still live in Newark and you're white, you're the minority. Is it okay for you to have the white club or something? Whites only club?
it's that's unacceptable in every single section of the country, as far as I know it.
Why? They're the minority in that city or
Well,
any other city you could take.
the only
In
way they
Camden, well, in
have
Camden, if you're a minority in Camden, you're not going to last long enough to start a club.
the only way you're going to have an all-white congregation is if it happens. If it just happens, I mean, there's like up when I was in New Hampshire, the vast majority of the people in New Hampshire where I was white,
We're
and
white.
my Latin wife didn't like that.
Why?
Yeah, because of the fact that she's Hispanic, and she
Well, wait.
felt
She
out of
looked
place
white anyway. She looked kind of white. She didn't look. If I'd seen her on the street, I would have thought there's a redhead.
because
I wouldn't have
because
thought she was anything. I mean, I wouldn't have put her down for being Colombian.
I'm not talking about my Colombian wife. I'm talking
Oh,
about
the
my
Puerto Rican one. Go
she
ahead.
was even whiter. And the thing is that when I met her,
Yeah,
I
a lot
didn't.
of Puerto Ricans I knew were pretty white skinned.
Well, yes, they were. Elizabeth is a pale complexion, and so
Is it
is.
what? Oh yeah.
But the thing is, Elizabeth has what I felt more exotic features, more Hispanic features. Um, my second wife,
Exotic, yeah. The
she
second wife I never saw, so I have no
yeah
idea.
she now that I'm used to her now, I can see the Hispanic in her. But at the time when I first saw her, I just thought she was a white girl. I thought she was actually German. But the thing is that she felt uncomfortable up there because
You thought she was German because
no,
you asked her to shit on your face and she did?
no. But the thing is that yeah, she was uncomfortable up there because it was predominantly white. So that was her problem, not mine.
That was her phobia, yeah.
You
That's
know,
her phobia.
but when I listen
We're long past the days of the Sharks and the Jets. Come on.
in 1970s, I had to take the bus into Newark to Market Street and take another bus into Oak Island, which was the Conrail hub. And um, in the morning, when I was there, in the center of Newark, I was like a snowflake, man. I was like, man, that was like heavy duty, loaded with everybody but white. So I know what it's like to feel out of
In the
place.
70s, you could still go down there, though, because my mother still used to go down and shop on Saturdays. So, well, it was more in the 60s, actually. Yeah,
I'm
no,
talking
you
about
know
in the
what?
early morning when everybody's taking the bus. It was
Yeah,
loaded with black people and Hispanics and very few whites. So it,
yeah.
and also we're talking about 1976. Newark
Okay,
was,
yeah, by then it was already changing a lot.
yeah, there had, it was like about what, about 8 years after the Newark riots. So there was still some,
Okay.
but anyway, the thing is that, that was, that was my experience of being basically kind of out of place, and I know what that feels like. Um, but uh, you just you do what you got to do, and that's it. And
Yeah, but again, I mean, like, if your ex looked white and she was with a white guy,
you
well,
don't
then
see
again,
you don't see
you're Italian. When your kind came over here, they weren't considered white at the
you
time.
you don't you don't see the world through other people's eyes. You see it through your own. So she
Yeah.
only has her perspective. She's looking around and she doesn't see anybody eating a taco. Okay,
Anybody
so
like her? Oh, wait. Now you're getting into that territory like that stupid fire thing in California who was trying to tell to real very heavy, very overweight
oh that
firefighter, and
yeah.
she's telling and she's being asked, uh, what if my husband is in the thing? How can you? And he weighs 200 pounds. Can you drag him out of the fire? Well, if he's in a burning building, then he's already made a bad decision.
Well, she said
That's not the fucking answer you want. She's saying that people in a fire, if you go, they want people to look like them, okay, like whatever color they are, or whatever weight they are, so they can feel more comfortable. Bullshit. I'm in a fire and I see a fireman coming. I don't care what race he is. I don't care if it's an alien. Get me the fuck out of here.
if
Okay?
she can't pull a average sized man out of a burning building, then
She
she's
shouldn't be a
uncomfortable.
firefighter.
Yeah, and she's not a firefighter. She's
No,
a
she's not.
she's a faux fighter. She's a faux fighter. She's not a real
She's
thing.
a Foo Fighter.
Foo fight? No, she's a faux fighter. The Foo Fighters were a good band, but they're sometimes they got a little
Well,
too
the
heavy.
Foo Fighters were strange aircraft that the pilots named them Foo Fighters because they couldn't recognize them or something.
Oh,
I forget the exact-
there was a rock and roll group called the Foo Fighters.
No, I know that, but that was in the 1990s, right?
Yeah, sometime around there.
Yeah, I'm talking about back in the 50s and 60s. The pilots used to call certain aircraft Foo Fighters. They couldn't identify them, and they didn't know what they were.
Hmm.
So the government started referring to them as Foo Fighters.
Well, I think we should shut it down for tonight.
Yeah, I think so. We are. We've gone. We've gone over some nonsense, enough nonsense for one evening. I'm
Well, yes,
going to try and splice these two portions together.
got
And
it.
if I can't, this will be the second of two podcasts we've done today, two
Well,
episodes.
we're gonna lose
In the
hundreds
meantime, the
of
golden
viewers.
age is here. Rejoice, you people who are worried about it. Don't worry about it. Things are going to get. Look, we had 4 years of President Trump, and he didn't do anything dictatorial. Then, oh, here's the other thing. I tried to tell you before. He and Melania went to the White House to have tea with Biden.
Yeah.
That's what you do, isn't it? When Hitler's going to take over, you have tea with him, right? You have a peaceful transition. You're not going to, you've been telling people that he's Hitler, this, that. So you're going to let Hitler take control without a fuss, right? And you're actually going to sit down with him and have tea with him, right? You're going to sit down at his inauguration and
Listen,
just, you know,
I don't think you understand the significance of the tea thing. Okay, for the last month, Biden's been shitting all over everything. He's just been shitting all over everything. So the tea thing is to give his little. He says, "Wait a second. If I've passed the power peacefully. You know, I was supportive. I even had tea with the man. So that's his bullshit story. That's all it is.
Well, no. The point is, if he was Hitler as they claim, why would they be all so friendly and happy? Even Schumer was waiting in line to get a pen after Trump signed his first few documents.
You don't have to prove anything.
Okay.
You don't have to prove anything, Roy. We know they're full of
No,
shit.
not, they are proving that it was bullshit what they were spewing. That's
Well,
what they're proving.
they're proving it to those who would notice it, and only those who already know notice it. Those who are uh,
Fucked up
damaged,
in the mind.
yeah, delusional, um,
Yeah.
not going to interpret it that way, and that's all there is to it. You're preaching to the choir.
Oh, Mayorkas, did he get a pardon? I hope not, because that motherfucker, he gave 850 illegals, 600,000 of them from Venezuela alone, amnesty through the TPS program, temporary protective status, 850,000. All right, and that was just a couple of weeks ago. I hope he gets investigated for that
We
and
had, had
prosecuted for that.
we had illegals flown into this country, over 350,000 of them by
Yeah,
plane. We're not talking about jumping on the back of a fucking old beat up pickup truck. We're talking about flying entire plane loads of people.
yeah. And
Yeah,
asking them, what town do you want to go to? Or they'll say, these are your choices because they were trying to infest uh, Republican areas to change the voting thing. Okay? The voting composition. All right, that's enough. I had enough of this. I got a few other
well,
things. These
one
things I
last
had.
thing. One last thing.
Speak to me.
Okay, anybody who sees this, okay, and who's had the opportunity to experience the 20th of January, otherwise known as Independence Day or Liberty Day, as Trump called it, just know that you got to be part of a radical piece of history, and you've actually gone through the entire process, and you're actually at the sunrise of America.
Yeah, in a way, it's a perverse good that Biden stole the election last time because it opened a lot of people's eyes and it showed what the Democrats were really about, what they were really up to, and it caused a lot of people to say, "No, we can't have any more of this," and they came out and voted, even men who typically vote less than women do. So,
Okay, so you guys have a good night, and
yep.
welcome to the new world.
And please rate, share, and comment on this
Yeah.
on our podcast. Thank you very much. Have a good night. The golden age is here, so it's got to be a good night. Bye.
Yeah.